we all agree that the blush that the French girls are using is just chef kiss? This look is very natural, so how do they do it?
And then I'm gonna use red blush that feels to me the most.
So I'm gonna place my brush in the apples of my cheeks and blend. However, talking about this kind of makeup, I got an interesting comment. Looks stunning. The blush area also depends on your age. I'm hitting 50 and I never apply it to the apples anymore. That just accentuates the sagging. And to be fair, she has a point, so I started investigating. And as soon as you go on social media, everyone says the same thing.
No. Exactly.
It's a very high placement. By the way, I love this brush. I will leave you the info in the description. I believe that it's very hard to say that this doesn't make you look more elongated. From this to this, with this placement that is a little bit lower. However, it is very interesting that most makeup artists don't actually enjoy this placement. So why? They have two reasons. One, that we don't actually blush in this area. And number two, that some of them say that it reminds them to the 80s.
But I'm 41 years old and I don't necessarily like a high blush on me unless I'm going for an 80s looking look.
So because they associate it with that time, they say that it makes you look older. And to be honest, that actually made me wonder what youthful means. Does it mean that you're doing what the kids are doing now, which is the high placement at this particular moment? And there's some evidence that if you wear things that are in trend, you indeed look younger. Like this meme that shows the difference between old and new hairstyles on the Golden Girls. I mean, they do look younger. But what is the line where it looks cool or not so cool? I don't know. Or the other possibility is that youthful means to actually look like a younger person, like a teen or a young woman. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into old celebrity photos or kids photos and see where the blush actually is. And I saw a lot of photos of kids where their blush actually it's pretty low on their faces. And there are some people that do exercise and they blush basically all over their face, really. Of course, this changes depending on your ethnicity, where you live, where you're exposed to, your skin conditions, so many things, right? Which at this point, I will say that this look might be more youthful as the sense of like how a young person actually looks, and this is definitely more trendy. If you see Renaissance paintings, they do have this like super cute placement that now some people call the boyfriend blush, because it's like if you're shy because you saw the guy that you like. However, I did wonder what a doctor will say about this.
I'm Dr. Charles, a dermatologist. Makeup. You want for blush, you want to be just below the pupil at the meaty part of the eye. I know it's higher than you would think.
Okay, I'm gonna take this out to try that method. Taking in consideration my pupil and do a little triangle. I'm gonna fill it up a little. Okay, that's kind of messy. And then blend. I think we're getting something in the middle and we might be getting a little bit closer. And of course he's looking at it as like how we age, we start sagging like this. So the attention will be here, which is very similar to the actual trend right now. However, it doesn't solve the problem that it doesn't look natural. This was supposed to be a simple blush video, but you know, here we are, deep. I mean, with all this information, my take is that this method, the main problem is that when you're smiling to put on your blush and then stop smiling, it goes naturally down. So since this looks more how a young person would look, I will just place it a little bit more up without smiling, because if your apple it's moving down, then you can push it up. You know what I mean? So maybe something like here. Let's see how it looks. Oh my god, this brush is so easy to blend. Well, now this looks like, this might look a little bit like too much, but it's because I'm showing it is a demo. So yeah, I think that we see a difference between this and this. So it's something like happily in the middle. However, I do think that you should ask yourself what youthful means to you. Like, do you want to look like an actual younger person, or do you want to look youthful and cool, meaning like you're following the trends that are happening right now? Or you want to go more the scientific approach, like the doctor said, and go for a look that might be a little bit closer to a facelift, maybe? If anyone here is a plastic surgeon, I would love to know. And another possibility is to stop altogether doing any tutorial and actually look at your face. To show you that, I'm gonna take all this off. Because let's keep in mind, blush was invented not necessarily to give you a particular shape, but to showcase that you're healthy. Just having the possibility of getting blush, getting a little bit red, it means that you're healthy. So regardless where it is, if you're red, it means you're young and healthy. You know what I mean? So if I really look at my face and I really smile, like, I have the tendency to get red around here. I'm Latina, we had sun there all the time, not like Chicago, with like regular seasons. So I will always be tan over here. So for me, a youthful look, it's a really kind of tan look. And this goes all over too, because here's where I will normally get red. So it's something like this. I think that with all this information, I will agree that the one here, it's probably the best for aging. But if you're not actually sagging, honestly, I think that you're fine to put it here. So obviously there are many ways that you can place your blush. I will leave the products in the comments. Let me know what youthful means to you. There's no right answer for this one. Okay, bye.